Welcome to day 243 of TFIF 365. And I just wanted to share something with you because my heart is healing. My heart is healing. Again, I tell you, I had no idea how cathartic making a commitment to do these videos daily and focus on modeling supremacy-free, coercion-free, discrimination-free, and exploitation-free would impact me. I had no idea. I was just trying to find ways to show people how to live differently so that we can all move to the future that we say we want, because so many of us are not ready. We say this is what we want, but we have not done the work, the internal work to heal as a coalition of the wounded. And my heart is healing. So today, as I've said before, I haven't spoken to my mom in over a year. I actually haven't spoken to my mom's side of the family in a while. And it's because, again, I was prioritizing myself finally. I didn't want to be responsible for anybody else. And if my relationships weren't reciprocal, if I was not receiving the same energy in kind that I was giving out, then I had some decisions to make. So because I could no longer blame other people for being conscious of how I was allowing myself to be in relationship with people who could not show up for me. And so I woke up this morning and I was just doing some work, and I heard the voice wanted me to reach out to my first best friend. And this is a cousin who we used to get into some shit together when we were younger, right? That she liked Snoopy. I love Winnie the Pooh, and she was Snoopy and I was Pooh. And we used to get up to some shit. We used to have so much fun. And you know, shit happens, and we drifted apart, and our relationship became one where, like most of my relationships, where I was caring for other people, not only beyond myself, but as a detriment to myself. So I cut off all parts of my mom's side of the family. But this morning the voice said, you two have always had a relationship, so reach out and just share what's going on. And so I did that. And it was an amazing conversation. I can't tell you if it means that we will have a friendship in the future. But what I can tell you is I got to practice speaking my truth, being vulnerable, being transparent, being authentic, and just showing up. And asking for what I want. And thankfully, she was able to meet me where I was and thank me for being honest and thank me for sharing my truth with her. And that now she understands that the ball is in her court, whether we will move forward, because she has to demonstrate. And that's my whole point. That's why I do this. This is what this work requires. It's not about talking. It's not about saying you love people. It's not about saying I want my organization to be welcoming and psychologically safe. It is about doing. This is doing work. And most of you aren't ready to do the work because you have not dealt with your own issues, which makes you, which you bring to the coalition of the wounded, which we all are, right? We all are. We all members of the coalition of the wounded for a reason. And yet that can't be an excuse for us to continue to show up not as ourselves, not as the big, bold, beautiful, loving, caring, kind, authentic, generous people we can be. And what is needed for us to move to the future, to have a future that is supremacy-free, coercion-free, discrimination-free, and exploitation-free. To have a free future that is about equitable access, equitable leverage, equitable value, and equitable, what's the last one? Y'all know my brain is value agency. That's it, equitable agency. And so, yeah, I'm just happy today on this Friday. I'm happy that I step into my fears because I didn't know how she was going to respond. You never know how someone's going to respond. And yet, you still have to speak your truth. You still have to be authentic and be ready for whatever the outcomes or however they respond to that. And she asked me, her only request was to extend her grace as she maneuvers this. And that's all I have is grace. I told her me calling her was me extending grace. So yes, I have grace. And that's because my heart is healing. I'm healing, y'all. So I can look out on the world and I can see the white supremacy. I can see the anti-blackness. I can see the homophobia. I can see the transphobia. I can see the Islamophobia. I can see the anti-Semitism. I can see the discrimination against people in the disability community. I can see it all. And yet I can also see a bright future where all of these individuals who are members of the Coalition of the Wounded can come together and build a future that is rooted in kindness and joy and love. So have a great weekend. Until tomorrow, peace. Become a sustaining sponsor at kimcreighton.com/support-the-work and help make this work happen.